welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Jason. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, pretty good. It's what, Thursday. Football is already tonight, man. It's gonna be
I know. I think it's
quick
been a
turnaround.
little crazy this week, so we had to do this today.
Yeah, sometimes people have things pop up and everything, and
Life happens.
Hey, but at least the weather's nice and cool.
Absolutely. I was earlier. I was watching the Halloween marathon on AMC.
Oh, that was today. I missed it. Damn.
I think it's tomorrow too.
Okay, because I knew it was coming up because I saw their Fear Fest schedule, but I kind of just spaced out. I haven't even watched any horror movies or anything yet this October, so I'm way behind.
Their pick of movies leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, I mean, I saw this year's was actually better. It kind of, They can only get the rights to so many movies, so it's kind of hard to throw certain stuff in there. But I'm just ready for the new Halloween movie to come out tomorrow, so I haven't even.
Yeah, it was funny because they started at like 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Yeah, and I watched the end of 2, and then I turned it off. And my mom was like, "Oh, you're not gonna watch it anymore?" I was like, "I'm not watching 3."
Yeah, three's. I like 3 for what it is. It's not. It's not a Michael Myers movie.
Yeah, if it didn't have the name, it'd be fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
But before we get rolling, don't forget to check out our social media stuff: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at ASC Pods. You can find our entire catalog on B Plus Player Radio. Find them on Twitter at B Plus Radio. And you can check out our sponsors over at Too Sweet Magazine on Twitter at 2TOO Sweet Mag. I just want to make that clear. All right. This seems like an eternity ago mentioning this first game. The Eagles beating up on the Giants last Thursday, 34-13.
Yeah, that was finally I would say a relaxing Eagles game to watch because it was a rout. So and it started off really quick. They 2 plays into the game, the Eagles intercepted Eli Manning, Camus, Grugier, Hill, and then it was just right down in there in the end zone. And I was like, hey, maybe finally we're gonna get a 2017 Eagles game, and we did, which was great. They pretty much just
cruised.
They had their way with them at times. Yeah, Carson Wentz looked good. They didn't really have to throw the ball much late, so his stats but he had 3 touchdown passes. He had a 122 rating, so that felt like a victory that this Eagles team needed. And
I was going to say, and there's certain throws that he had in that game where you're starting to see him like he was last year.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing, too, that I really liked is Jalen Mills looked good on Thursday night. He tackled really well. I think he had one play where he got beat on. And, I mean, if you give up one play per game, you're fine. It's just when you give up 2 or 3 40-plus yarders and then you get pass interference penalties, that's when you start to fall into that category of being a reliability to your team more than a contributor.
Oh, absolutely. Man, and how bad do the Giants look?
The Giants they're not good. That's the best way I could say it without being
disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. Yeah. They just, to me, they're just a team that I think I don't know if it's ownership or whatever, the people running the team, but they seem to get these really good skill players, but with Odell Beckham he's not a very good locker room and sideline guy. Yeah, and then you have Eli, who probably should have been moved, and probably should have had a quarterback drafted to replace him already. But they went with Barkley, which we talked about before, which he was the best player available at that time. But sometimes the best player available doesn't fit your biggest need. And I know some teams always draft the best player available, and it ends up burning them,
Exactly. and I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but who's to say by the time they find the quarterback they need and he's ready that Barkley's, his best years are gone?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll still have a lot of good in him, but the other issue too is his contract could be gone.
That's that too.
So you have to start worrying about that because you get 5 years, and if they find a quarterback, say 2-3 years from now, you're at the back end of his deal where he can say, well, maybe trade me, or maybe I'll just play here, and if you pick up my option, I'm going to hold out or whatever, because Le'Veon Bell is proving that players will do that.
Yep.
So we'll see with them, but they seem to have like an injury bug that hits them every year and positions that they really need the players, and then they get this attitude from Beckham, and then they get Eli Manning throwing some of the worst balls in the NFL, and it's almost like they have a curse on them now or something. Like since they beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl, it's been like, well, the Giants are like they sold their soul for that one season,
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, real quick, I want to mention this is they have a really interesting person that's coming up for free agency, and I wonder what he's going to do. It's Landon Collins.
Yeah, and he's not getting any younger, and he's a good player. So
and he's in the prime of his career.
Yes, that's a big thing. So he's going to want a contract, and he's going to want to win, because when he starts getting, a little bit older, which he is, that's the first thing that I think comes to their mind at this point. He can get paid anywhere. It's the NFL. He'll get paid anywhere. So now he has to start looking at, well, since I know I can get the money from any team, I'm going to want to go to a team that's going to win. And I don't think that the Giants are going to win within the next few years, to be honest with you. 2 to 3 years. I mean, they could turn it around fast. Who knows? Teams do it. But with the way that they've been lately, it seems like they always make the wrong decision. Yep. And until you stop making the wrong decision, you can't win.
Agreed.
Ask the Cleveland Browns, which maybe they finally turned it around, Ask some other teams. But you get what I'm saying there.
Totally. All right, next, this was one of the more fun games this past Sunday. The Jets hanging on and beating the Colts 42-34.
Yeah, that game almost felt like you ever think you'll sit and you'll think about a game and you'll go, man, that game was fun. But because it was fun because both teams are bad. So they can't stop each other. It's like when you get two bad defenses together, which I don't know if the Jets defense is necessarily that bad. I mean, they did a good job against Denver, which I mean a lot of teams do a good job against Denver now at this point, but yeah. Denver's offense. But I mean, it was a good game. You had a kicker who I've never heard of before make 7 field goals, franchise record. For Jets franchise record, 7 field goals, which that's an old franchise,
Yeah.
Luck was up and down, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So that's kind of I guess you would say like a push in a way if you're a betting person.
The only reason I would say it's not so bad is because he had no one you would ever hear of to throw it to.
Well, he had Eric Ebron.
Yeah, I meant other than that, T.Y. Hilton was hurt, Jack Doyle was hurt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He was relying on 3rd and 4th string receivers.
Oh yeah, I definitely understand. And I mean the running back they had, I've never really Marlon Mack. I don't know really who he is, but he had a good game.
The other one you're probably thinking of is that Wilkins.
I don't know.
He played briefly in the Eagles game. He's the guy that they thought was going to be really good, and he's kind of just
Yeah, he didn't even hit the stat sheet in this game.
Oh wow!
Against the Jets, so he was MIA.
I'm intrigued though with Darnold, how he's looked. He's looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looks like a talented rookie, if you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
You see that he has the talent and the mind and the intelligence to be an NFL quarterback, but then he'll make the rookie mistakes. His first pass in the NFL was a pick 6, but he rebounded from it, which shows you that he's good and he's smart. and he has a strong head, because some rookie quarterbacks, as you know, we've definitely seen in the past, Ryan Leaf, they come in, they struggle from the start, and they're mentally done. You know, they're done.
Yeah, he's mentally tough where it's not going to break him.
Yeah, Darnold definitely has that, I think, ability to where he can rebound from a mistake and he can ride success. Meaning, once, you know, it snowballs. Like, once that success starts, it will just keep building up and building up and building up, you know. One of the things that stood out to me in this game is Robbie Anderson didn't have his big 50 or 60-yard play, which is surprising, because it seems like every game he comes up with a huge long catch, and he didn't have it this week. So I guess everybody else contributed well enough.
Yeah, it was a fun, like, back and forth game.
Yeah, they put on a pretty good show for, you know, their audience, because I don't, you know, the game's not really going to draw much attention unless you have a rooting interest between the two teams, which I don't. But I watched the highlights. I watched Red Zone and stuff, and it looked like a fun game. Like I said, with the kicker and everything, pretty much won them the game. So, hey, good for him. You know, he made his name.
Totally. All right, next we have the Steelers coming from behind and beating Cincinnati 28-21.
Yep, man. I'm telling you, dude. The Steelers were my team that I've been telling you. They're turning it around. And when you beat a rival on the road, like the Bengals, who actually have looked really good this year prior to Sunday, and they didn't look terrible on Sunday.
It was just a dogfight.
Yeah, that's the kind of game it is. Fick's going to throw his dirty hits, and then you're going to have some scraps, and it's going to be a close game at the end, like always. And the Steelers are usually going to pull it out, and that's what happened on Sunday. I like when these two teams match up, especially when they're both decent to good football teams.
Because they don't they don't like each other.
Oh, absolutely. They hate each other. That's one of the better rivalries in the NFL. I think you have those two teams, and you have Pittsburgh and Baltimore. The Eagles and Dallas is a pretty good one most of the time. You know, you have like rivalries, and there are rivalries. The Chiefs and Broncos is a good one. The Raiders, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, you know, all of them mixed in there usually are good. And this is one of them that every time I see it coming up on the schedule, I know we're at least going to get some quality, dirty, hard-hitting football. And that's what we got on Sunday.
Right. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this after the game. Apparently, Vontaze Burfict was yelling at Juju Smith-Schuster that you're next, meaning he was going to, like, try and hurt him. Like, remember he tried to do it to Antonio Brown?
Yeah, well, like 5 times now with Antonio Brown. Like, I feel bad for Antonio Brown. When Antonio Brown plays him, he's got a huge target on his head. It's not his back or anything. It's his head.
Well, apparently Burfict said that during the game, that Juju Smith-Schuster's next.
I saw the video of it. He did it. He pointed at Schuster as he was going in motion. Roethlisberger was in the shotgun, I believe. Smith-Schuster comes in motion. He gets by Burfict. Burfict points at him and tells him, "You're next. You're next." I saw the video. It definitely happened.
Damn.
But the guy's a dirty football player, and I think the next incident he has, I think it's time for the NFL to just get rid of him. He should get a suspension that will pretty much end his career, you know, or just a full ban. Like, I mean, if you want to keep penalizing these guys and suspending these guys for being dirty football players, and you put all these rules in, make an example out of someone. And Burfict is the guy he's the perfect example to make an example out of. Because the guy's just not a clean football player. He's not a good football player. He's not good for the game at this point. And the route they're going, he's just not good for the league, you know?
No, I agree. All right. Next we have, and this one surprised me, the Chargers just pouring it on the Browns, 38-14.
Yeah, I guess the Browns were due for this kind of game, and it happened. You know, you might hear a little sound in my background. Sorry, I have to leave the room real quick.
You're fine.
It's a positive of being on a wireless headset.
I know Schobert, the linebacker, got hurt in this game, so that didn't help.
Yeah. they the Browns just didn't show up.
The Browns defense turned into the old Browns defense.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good showing for them. I kind of did it at some point because they've been in every single game. Like, we talk about it every week, man. They technically could have been an undefeated football team, and finally, they had that game where every team has one.
A clunker, basically.
Yeah, like if you watch some of the teams that, like, even the Patriots had one against the Jaguars. They didn't show up, and then you had speaking of the Jaguars, I think they had one this week. So you get those games. The Eagles had one against Tampa. So, well, I don't think Cleveland should panic or be worried about anything. I mean, they're
gonna
still
take their lumps, basically.
Yeah, everybody's going to do it. They're growing pains. Unfortunately, the Cleveland Browns seem to have a lot more growing pains than some of the other teams in the NFL, but they'll be okay. They'll rebound. I mean, I'm not sure who they play next week. I see who they play next week, and they might rebound against them. Yeah.
I think the thing that surprised me more was the Chargers going into the East Coast and a 1 o'clock game, which West Coast teams usually struggle with, and just pummeling somebody.
Yeah, the big thing about this game, and I don't know if you saw a lot of highlights or saw the game, the Chargers really just pounded the ball against them on the ground mainly because they rushed for 246 yards. Melvin Gordon had a 3-touchdown, 132-yard game. Eckler had a good game. They just were pounding the football. And I think they may have drew up like a blueprint on really how to beat the Browns at this point, because the Browns defense has been pretty good this year, and it didn't look good on Sunday. Like, they got beat up, and
I agree.
That's going to be, I think, how all these other teams like a Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, even though they don't have Bell, they can still pound the ball. Connor is still a good running back to pound the ball with. And if Baltimore can do it, if these other division, teams can do it, anybody else on their schedule can do it. They're gonna know now that maybe that's just how you beat the Browns. You just pound the football against them, because this really was a one-sided game.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, next we have the Texans surviving and beating the Bills 20-13.
Yeah, this was another ugly game, man. I mean, I like you said, surviving. I'm gonna say that Peterman handed them the football.
I was just gonna say that Peterman gift wrapped this game.
Yeah, this game really wasn't.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it just wasn't a very good game to watch. I follow most of the games all week. I'll watch Red Zone. I'll look at as much stuff as I can on them. The condensed games or whatever we have on Xfinity, where you can go in and watch a 9-minute thing. This game just wasn't a good football game. It was kind of boring. Kudos to the Texans for winning it, because it got them back to 500, and it was a win that they really needed to get up there after.
Like you said, ugly football. They if Peterman doesn't gift wrap them that pick six, they might lose that game.
100%, man. If Josh Allen doesn't go down, I think the Bills might win that football game.
I agree.
But yeah, there wasn't much in here, I don't think, to.
We'll just move it along. Next to me is probably the most shocking game of the week. The Dolphins beating the Bears in overtime, 31-28.
I don't know. Would you? I mean, they're 4-2. I don't know if I would really call it shocking.
I guess I would say shocking because they did it with their backup quarterback.
Yeah, it is shocking when Brock Osweiler throws 3 touchdowns. That's true. But he did look like Brock. He rocked a little bit during the game, but he recovered, man. And hey, good for him. They won a football game. They won an overtime football game. The Bears, I don't know, Trubisky looks great. He looked great on Sunday, I thought, and they have a good running game, and they have a good offense, and I think they're the team that, I keep saying every week we do this, I think they're the team that's going to put a little bit of it together this year, But then next year, you really have to start looking out for them because they're going to have experience. They're going to have the quarterback in his another year. And but hey, Miami stole a game here, I guess you would say, with a backup quarterback who really does not win football games in Osweiler.
But you talk about teams that kind of you're going to see teams use more on others like defenses. A lot of teams I think are going to start doing what Miami did against the Bears, because I don't think they had one sack in this game.
Yeah.
Where they're going to, I think, run a lot of like 3-step drops, short outs, and you know what I mean, so that their pass rush can't get there.
Yeah, you're 100% right though. The Bears did not have a sack in this game. Really, what's his name? Khalil Mack he didn't do anything. He had one tackle, one solo tackle. So it was not like that big Bears defensive game that we've seen. Most of the. Yeah. They only had 3 quarterback hits too. 4. I'm sorry, 4. So they really, the Dolphins drew up a good game plan on how to take that front 4 and front 7 out of the game. And that's
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that young team reacts going forward.
The Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did it? Oh, I see who they play next week. Yeah, they might be in trouble. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Like that young head coach, the young team
like that, and you have that kind of loss, it could snowball.
It really can in a very negative way. You're right there. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how they come out next week, and if they don't come out well, they're going to take it on the chin.
I agree. All right, next we have the Vikings beating Arizona 27-17.
This, to me, I don't know if you saw a lot of this, but this was another ugly game. Like, I didn't think this game really was very good either. Other than Latavius Murray, it was kind of boring too. I hate to say it like that.
The Vikings kind of pulled this one out late.
Yeah, Thielen looked good, Murray looked good, but it was kind of like a game where you're just kind of like, well, nothing really stood out huge,
No.
And what can you really say?
And now Thielen has 100+ yards receiving in every game this year.
He's the first player to do it, right?
Yep.
Isn't he the five games or whatever, 5 in a row or 6 in a row, whatever? He's the first player to ever do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good for him, man. He's a hell of a receiver.
Undrafted too.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You get some of these receivers in the NFL that, like Antonio Brown was a later pick, and then you get like a Thielen. They just come out of nowhere, man.
And I was going to say, I always feel like they got a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, they have nothing to lose, Like if you're not drafted,
to prove.
Yeah, if you're not drafted, every team gave up on you. That means every team, until that team signed you, didn't think you were worth having, or didn't think you were worth using a pick on. So
you're right.
That's got to be motivating,
Totally. All right, next, and this was one of the more fun games of the week. Atlanta hanging on and beating the Bucks 34-29.
Yeah, these NFC South games, dude. Is anybody gonna stop someone from scoring? Because it seems like the defense is down there. It seems like they want to play like some college football out there, like some Pac-12 football or something or whatever.
Wins.
Yeah, first of what let's just keep scoring, don't stop. I thought both quarterbacks looked decent in this game. Matt Ryan looked really good in this game. He got protected well. Julio Jones got open, and the rest was a W. Jameis Winston looked good at times, but Winston he's going to make a lot of mistakes. He
had 2 interceptions, I believe, in the red zone.
Yep, that's what cost them a game.
That'll kill you.
Yep, it's basically shooting yourself in the foot. And Atlanta just decided that they didn't want to run the ball, so they were basically like, well, they didn't really run the ball well, but they were basically like, well, our team is filled with weapons through the air. Let's just win another game with it.
Yeah,
And
Chuck the Duck.
yeah, they needed a win bad, and that's I think that was the reason I picked them too to win. I know I picked them to win, but I think they're a team that might start making a couple moves here and there, like winning some not moves like trades, but I think they're going to start
considering who they play next week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we'll
the team
get
they
into
play
that.
next week, they might score 50 or more against that team because it's not really going to be a good game, I don't think.
No. All right. Next we have Seattle beating up on the Raiders in London, 27-3.
Yeah, man. I have to go out on a limb here. Maybe not out on a limb and say the Raiders they're the most disappointing team in the NFL right now, in my opinion.
I messaged you earlier this week and said that they're trying to trade Cooper for a first-round pick to see if someone will take him.
Yeah, there's no way I would. I wouldn't trade a first-round pick for him. Not at all. Because, I mean, he's a free agent,
Yep.
and hey, he doesn't want to be in Oakland, so I would just tell him, look, I'll give you a conditional fourth or whatever, or maybe
I
a
would just
fourth in a
personally
later.
wait it out because he's not going to want to be there, and then you might be able to sign him for maybe a one year prove it deal to show that he still has potential.
Yeah, look, Alshon Jeffrey did it. He signed a 1-year deal. It worked out for him, and it worked out for the Eagles. So he's a good receiver, man. I just think he needs to get out of Oakland. I honestly believe that someone should trade for him. A contender right now should trade for him because you talk about guys with chips on their shoulder, motivation. He's got to be one of them. And look, the Raiders with Gruden might be in trouble. That franchise for a little while may be in trouble, man, because that guy, just the way he comes off and everything, he just doesn't seem like he is built to be an NFL head coach anymore.
You know who he kind of reminds me of, and you're going to cringe
Chip Kelly.
when I say this.
Chip Kelly?
Yep.
Yeah, he does. I knew you were going to say that. I knew because that's the first thing that popped in my mind because you're right. 8 years, dude, I think he was out of the NFL. So it was almost like the Raiders were like, yeah, let's bring back that guy. He's won a Super Bowl and, we loved him before and we had
he took our team to prominence and.
Yeah, and then we traded him. But, it's going to be rough, man, for them because I don't think Gruden is the right head coach in the NFL anymore for any team. And I think maybe their ownership, the Davis or whatever his name is, the son, right, is the guy who runs it. I can't remember his name. It's Davis, but I can't remember his first name. The bowl cut looking guy, weird looking guy. I think it might be. I think after the season they might just want to fire Gruden. You might just want to take the hit, and it's going to be a rough hit because of the contract they gave him. But
I don't know if stick with him. I think they're going to be too stubborn and won't do it.
Yeah, maybe you let him actually try to bring his team, and maybe this just isn't his team, and he can't win with this team. Maybe that's what it is.
It's almost like he's trying to tear it apart to build it back up.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's doing. I can agree with that 100%. That's what he's doing. My thing is maybe there's two different sides of it. Maybe he needs to do it to have a team that he can win with. Maybe this team he just can't win with it because it's not his style of team.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe he's just been out of the NFL too long to know exactly how to win football games still in the league.
That's true.
But we'll see.
All right. Next, we have the Redskins hanging on and beating Carolina 23-17.
Yeah, the Redskins don't look bad this year, man. It's kind of like, what team are they? You know what you're gonna get out of Alex Smith. You know what you're gonna get out of Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson looks good again. I give him credit, man. He's been running the ball well. They're kind of like, both of these teams to me are kind of an anomaly in a way, because you don't know what Cam Newton you're gonna get. You don't know exactly what Redskins team you're going to get. These two teams seem like the kind of teams that could flirt with a wild card into December, and then they'll fall off in the last few games. You know what I mean by that?
If you could get Cam Newton frustrated early, you can beat them.
Oh, Cam Newton he's a head case. He'll throw football games away with the best of them, man. He's like a discounted Eli Manning at this point. Like he doesn't quite know how to lose games like Eli can, but maybe he'll get there. you know?
He's well on his way.
Yeah, they just didn't do anything really well on Sunday, the Panthers. They didn't run the ball very well at all. The Redskins just won the football game, man. Kudos to them. They won the football game. They won this game in the first half too, because they didn't look good at all in the second half. And Carolina
they're a weird
tried
team too, like you said.
Yeah, Carolina tried to come back, but it just didn't happen.
No, I agree with that. All right, next we have the Rams hanging on and beating Denver in the snow, 23-20.
Yeah, kind of in the snow. There was a couple flakes that fell. Hey, second coldest October game in NFL history. Well, in the since the what was that, the merger?
Yeah.
I think they said second coldest October game. 25 degrees at kickoff, which is, man, that's crazy. This is neither one of Todd Gurley. Look, Todd Gurley won this football game. Let me put it like that.
208
he had a
rushing
monster.
yards.
Yep, 2 touchdowns. Gurley won this football game. Denver made a big push late, man. Like, they tried late, but it was just a little too late. They just needed some plays earlier in the game that they didn't get. They just don't I'm not a big Case Keenum fan. I didn't think the guy was worth, trying to make your franchise quarterback or whatever, which Denver really didn't. I mean, they can get out of his contract after this year.
He's more like a stopgap.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to perform amazingly under pressure. Look, he won that football game against the Saints. But let's be honest, that was a pass that it wasn't a great throw because Diggs had to go up and get it, and then the guy just whiffed on the tackle of Diggs. So Keenum didn't exactly win that game, and we saw what happened against the Eagles the next week. He threw the touchdown pass early. Eagles popped him in the mouth. He threw the interception, return for the touchdown. He was done after that. You could see him on the sideline. He was done. Keenum just doesn't come off as the kind of quarterback who will ever win a big game, and I don't know.
He's mentally not tough.
Yeah, I told my buddy who's a Broncos fan that I didn't think that he should have been the quarterback that they really pursued. I thought they should have went after Josh Allen in the draft and just drafted him. But, what are you going to do? Hey, look, the Rams, and I got an issue with this game. And I think I told you what it was. Cooper Kupp was carted off the field in this game with an injury. He's going to miss this week's game coming up. As a team of medical staff, why do you allow him to come back onto the field and play Sunday
and potentially
after being carted
risk
off?
Re-injury?
The severity of the injury could have been increased and everything. Why would you do that to one of your guys?
I think it's a sprained MCL, right?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was, which is not an injury you want to mess with. Yeah, and I just don't understand why their medical staff, their coach, anybody in that organization would let him come back out and play on Sunday. It just didn't make sense to me.
I 1,000% agree with you.
Because I messaged you, and by the way, he didn't have any catches or anything in the game. I messaged you, and I remember telling you, I was like, dude, it looked bad. Like the twist of the knee, it did not look natural. When they carted him off, my original thought was he's done for the year. I thought he tore maybe multiple ligaments in his knee, ACL, MCL, PCL, anything that could have been messed up. I thought anything that you can mess up, I thought he could have messed up. But when he came back, the first thing that went through my mind was like, why? You're a 5-0 football team. You don't need this game that bad,
Exactly.
But we'll see what happens down the road. They ended up pulling the game out. Good for them. They're 6-0. They're the only undefeated team left.
If you don't see him come back for a long time, they're going to be, I think, heavily scrutinized for that.
Yep, we'll see. I mean, but this Denver team, by the way, I predicted last week they would fire Vance Joseph after the game. It didn't happen.
It's coming.
Fired. Still think he should be fired. They gave him a vote of confidence. Look, a vote of confidence only lasts as long as your next game. Because if they come out and they get beat up on their next game, Elway's got to fire this guy. Look, we understand you don't want to fire him because it shows that you made a mistake. That's fine. But every week that he doesn't fire this guy, I think even hurts Elway even more.
Yeah, because you're making yourself look even worse.
I don't know if Elway's a good GM or not. I'm not sure. I mean, I know he did what he did, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I
agree. All right, next we have. Now this is the shock of the week. Now that I see it go through it, the Cowboys just tattooing the Jaguars 40-7.
Yeah, the Jaguars looked terrible. They did nothing right in this game, man. Like offensively, defensively, they looked like they didn't want to play in this football game. They looked bad.
Disinterested.
And I'm reading I'm reading this thing right now from ESPN. Prescott sparks punchless pass game. Okay, that's fine and all. He had 183 yards passing. That's a spark for a punchless pass game? 183 yards? Come on.
I would say I thought it was more so him doing the read option
His
stuff.
Legs. It was his legs.
Yeah.
He sparked an offense with his legs, him and Elliott. The ground game is what won them that football game more than anything. Come on. Look, the Cowboys aren't a very good football team right now. They're average at best. Let's be honest. I don't like them, but I'm not gonna have my bias or whatever toward them. They're just not a great football team.
Well, this is the thing. They could have a game like this and then lay an egg. They're far too inconsistent.
Yeah, and let's remember this as well. The Jaguars laid this same egg against the Titans. So it's not like this was a baseless game.
Yeah.
The Jaguars have done this year already. So how good is Jacksonville compared to how good the Cowboys are? We don't know. So this game, 40-7, does look terrible. But did they really beat up on a really good team? I don't think so. Did they beat up on an average team? Probably. Did they beat up on a team who could be below average? Possibly. So we'll see. But
yeah, you got to wait and see as the season goes on.
Some of the headlines that come out of Dallas are delusional. I think Jerry Jones hires the writers for all the publications down there most of the time because, look, the Cowboys look good. They're 3-3, whatever. They're a 500 team. You know, they're what that puts them in second in the division or something. We'll see how this division goes as the year goes on, but they didn't beat a team that looked interested in playing football on Sunday. Jacksonville looked like they were ready for. I don't know. Do they have a bye week in week 7 or something? Because
no, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay, so they do play next week. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
They looked very disinterested. They looked like they were ready to just call it from the start. Jacksonville never got into this game at all. And and they weren't beat out of this game. They just did not look like they wanted to play.
That's fair. All right, that's a good segue into the Titans because the Ravens shut out and beat up on the Titans 21-0.
Yeah, this was, man, the Titans, and that's another thing. The Ravens sacked Mariota 11 times.
And he's a mobile
team
guy.
Record. Exactly. 11 sacks. I don't think I've ever seen that many sacks in a game.
I think that's an NFL record.
It said team record, so I don't know if it's NFL or not. But man, they had some guys that like this dude right here, Zadarius Smith, 3 sacks. They had this. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Patrick Onwuasor had 2 sacks. It was like a sack party, man. Judon had a sack. Suggs had a sack. Jefferson had a sack. Young had a sack. Levine had a sack.
You know
Wormley
what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Oprah meme that's out
there. Yeah. You get a sack and you get a sack. Yeah, that's what it was, dude. It was a sack party. Baltimore didn't even look that great in this game. Like they didn't do anything that looked amazing. Crabtree had a pretty good game. He looked like Crabtree.
No, it's just their defense is really coming to form this year.
Yeah, I thought the most interesting thing in this game was Willie Snead had like this battle going on with a Titans defensive player all game where they were like all over each other the whole game, both physically and vocally.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was like the only thing that really stood out in this game to me. It was pretty much like Tennessee and Jacksonville did not show up this week.
Yeah.
Tennessee's offensive line should be embarrassed. If I was one of their offensive line, I'd put a bag over my head in the locker room because I wouldn't want anybody to look me in the eyes.
Oh, yeah. All right.
But yeah.
We can move on from that one. Next, we have the Sunday night game, which was fantastic. The Patriots coming from behind and beating the Chiefs 43-40.
Yeah, man, dude, every time, bro, Andy Reid cannot beat Bill Belichick.
Nope.
It's like, Mahomes looked good. He looked like a star again, in my opinion. Tyreek Hill looked good. Kareem Hunt looked good. And then it was just like the Patriots just did their thing, I missed the first like half of this game, and you were telling me, and I see too, the Patriots like ran the ball right down their throat early, right?
Yep.
So that pretty much set a tone
I'll say this, and I told you this that night. The Patriots basically were 50-50 run pass, which is shocking for them.
Yeah. Yeah, they ended up running the ball more, actually. They had 38 runs, which I don't actually would be like 35 or so because I don't really count Brady's runs as runs because they're not calling runs for Tom Brady unless it's a sneak. So, but yeah, it was a very, very like middle, even distribution, evenly distributed play calling. And maybe I guess that's the way you have to beat the Chiefs because you want to keep their offense off the field as much as possible,
Yeah, well, they basically just mauled them.
Yeah, it was a fantastic football game though, man. Like I watched,
and like you just said, the Patriots did their thing. They made one or two more plays than the Chiefs.
Yep. Hey, the Chiefs have nothing to be embarrassed for. They're 5-1. They have that one loss now. They're not undefeated anymore. But what they did do is they proved that they can hang with the Patriots. And if that game's in Kansas City, it could be different. It could be a different game. And another thing that stood out to me is the Patriots, that they have that fan, that they should be embarrassed with that fan where he like spit beer right in the face of Tyreek Hill, I think it was,
and he flipped him off.
Yeah, come on, man! Like, stop. People need to stop with that stuff.
The guy has been banned for life from Gillette and faces up to I want to say he faces jail time.
He won't get it, but yeah, I get, like, when you're sitting there, you're usually a season ticket holder and they know who you are, or you're with a season ticket holder. They know who owns that seat when you're sitting that close.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good luck getting away with it, asshole, because that's what he is. He's an asshole. Sorry, but
no, you're fine. I agree with you.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. But I don't want that to taint how great this football game was in primetime. We've been getting some good primetime football games, man.
I agree with you on that one. And let's do this one last, but certainly not least. We have Aaron Rodgers doing his magic to bring the Packers a win coming from behind on the 49ers, 33-30.
Yeah, hey, I'll say it every week, and I'll say it again. Primetime Rodgers just wins football games, dude. I love watching this guy. Put Aaron Rodgers in primetime every week for me, please, because I love watching Aaron Rodgers play on Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night, because that in that second half, when Aaron Rodgers gets that football, especially late, you're going to see something magical, because dude's a magician late. He's phenomenal.
And he's basically doing it on one good leg.
Yeah, I would say definitely. Like, he's just phenomenal, man. Those guys step up for him, too. Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, everybody on that team finds a way to get Aaron Rodgers, make a chance for Aaron Rodgers to make that throw, too. And if there's a throw that can be made late in the game, Aaron Rodgers is going to make it. Like,
I agree.
And I don't want this to get lost in it. Beathard had a good game as well. He played good football on Monday night.
He just made one terrible mistake at the worst possible time.
Exactly. What he did is he opened that door up for Rodgers, and Rodgers is just going to drop kick it open every time. I can't say enough about the way he performs in prime time. I love watching the guy. I'm not a Packers fan. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm a football fan, and when Aaron Rodgers is on that field, like in those situations, I get excited because everybody who watches football on a regular basis knows that you're gonna see something special 9 times out of 10 from him in a Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night type of game, playoff type of game too as well. I
agree.
But hey, as far as games goes this week, we had some major stinkers, but we had 2 finishing games, man, that just – and for us, the week was bookend great because we saw a great Thursday night game for us as Eagles fans. And then Sunday and Monday night, man, we saw some football that just –
fantastic.
That's why you love football. The NFL at times can be extremely frustrating, but when stuff like that happens, you're like, man, that's why I love the NFL. That's why I watch football every week. That's why I don't like primetime games, because stuff like this happens, and it's cool to see it. And it finished the week off in an amazing fashion, and it was a good week. It was another good week of football.
I agree. All right, before we make our picks, you were 1 ahead of me this week. You got 3 wrong. I got 4.
So we both had good weeks then, compared especially to what we've been doing in the past with 6 and 7 and 8.
Hell yeah.
So maybe we're starting to get a better understanding of the league now going into week 7, which it happens.
Oh, totally. All right, let's start it out. Tonight we have Denver traveling to Arizona.
This is kind of a stinker game, huh? We're like,
real great primetime games, and then we get this.
Well, the Thursday night games I kind of don't count as so much because they tend to not be the good game in prime time. It's hard because you got one of the teams is bound to not have a good week of practice because you only get 3 days, and both of these teams are coming off of tough losses, right? So, I'm going with Denver though. I'll just beat around. I mean, I'm not beating around the bush anymore. I'm going straight. Denver will take this one. I think they're the better team.
Their defense, and they're going to play a rookie quarterback in Arizona, and they just really don't have a lot going for them right now.
Yeah, and the other thing too, man, I feel bad for David Johnson right now, dude. He signed that contract. He signed a very friendly contract too that could help that franchise, and then now he's just this is what's happening. And they're talking about trading Patrick Peterson now, which would even hurt them even more as a team because he's one of the better corners in the league, and if you get rid of him, God knows how their defense is going to perform.
Totally.
So, yep.
I couldn't agree more. All right, next we have Tennessee and the Chargers playing in the UK.
Yeah, they're over there doing the 9:30 a.m. Eastern start again.
Yeah.
It's in Wembley. It's over in Wembley, so I got the Chargers in this one. Me
too, especially after the performance from Tennessee last week.
Yeah, I don't see the Chargers are starting to look better, man. Maybe I was wrong about them. I'm always Rivers will find a way to throw it away, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
And me too. All right, next we have the Browns traveling to Tampa.
This is a rough game for me, man. Tampa's the Browns defense is good. I think we can agree on that. It's good. I gotta go Tampa. I'm going Tampa with this one. I'm worried about the Browns falling apart after that loss on Sunday. That's one of the concerns I would have for them. Don't think Hugh Jackson's exactly a good coach. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'll take Tampa in this one.
I agree. Real quick, Dean's in the chat, and he popped in and he said the that he's off to Wembley Stadium for that game on Sunday.
Oh, awesome! Enjoy it, man, and hopefully, well, maybe hopefully for them. I saw actually the Jaguars just pulled out of their.
He just put that. He's so excited.
Yeah, I hope he has a good time, dude. I hope he goes to the Eagles game when they're over there too. Go check that game out. They'll be over there in a couple.
He had,
1 week.
Mentioned before that he's probably going to go and he's going to get me a souvenir.
Yeah, awesome. I saw they have some nice looking stuff, man. I like the Eagles London game hat has it's the England's flag but it's in the Eagles colors on the rim of the hat. I saw they have them in the Eagles Pro Shop. I saw them.
He was saying they put like a flag or something on like every seat in the stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
Of like the team, so he was like if he went to the Eagles game, he was going to get the flag for me.
Yeah, tell him to go to it, dude. He'll get to see the Super Bowl champs in London. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next we have the if I could talk, the Patriots traveling to Soldier Field playing the Bears.
This is going to be a good game, man. 1:00 game. I hope that it's on. Oh no, never mind. The Eagles are playing at 1, so. But I mean, it'll be a good game to check out. I think it's going to be a good game. I think you're going to get a Andy Reid disciple and Matt Nagy, who can't beat Bill Belichick though. The only one that can do it is Peterson, baby. I'm going with the Patriots. I think the Patriots actually win this game by double digits too. I don't think the Bears are quite ready for them. I think the Patriots are. It's time for the Patriots to be the Patriots. I said it a couple weeks ago. They'll win like 8 out of their last 11 or so, and they'll win that division. They'll probably get a first-round bye, and I think it's going to keep rolling. I got the Patriots in this game. I don't think it's going to be that close, like 31-20 or so. But I think like the Bears might score late. I'm going with a 2-score game here in the favor of the Patriots.
I agree with you. I was going to say the streak with Belichick and young quarterbacks continues.
Yeah, what is it? No quarterback under the age of 25 has ever beat a Bill Belichick Patriots team.
Correct.
It's like 24 games too.
Yeah.
So man, hey, I'm glad Carson Wentz didn't play in the Super Bowl. All right.
All right, next we have the Bills traveling to the Colts.
Oh, this is an ugly one, huh? Man. Yeah, this is a stinker all around, I think. The Colts are 7.5-point favorites in this one. Man, I'm going with the Colts. I
am too because I think they said Derek Anderson is starting for the Bills.
Correct.
And they're just not a really good football team, and I think not that the Colts are like world beaters, but if Luck and them had like a play here or there, their record would be much better.
Yeah, they were close to beating the Eagles, so yeah, I agree with you. I can't. I just don't. This game.
Yeah, like they're in every game. They don't get blown out.
Yeah, I like the Colts in this one though, especially because it's in Indy, and it's. I like Luck a lot better than Derek Anderson, so I think that'll be the difference in this game. So I'm taking Indy.
I am too. All right, next we have Houston traveling to Jacksonville.
I'm taking. Oh man, I was gonna say I'm taking the Jaguars, but I don't know. Houston's been winning some ugly games. Jacksonville needs a win though, man. You know what? I'm gonna take Houston in this game.
That's the same way I feel because I think Bortles is gonna hurt them.
Yeah, I think Houston might be ready to kind of, make their move a little bit. They've won some ugly games, but they're winning games, so maybe it's time for them to actually win a couple good games. So yeah. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
All right. Next we have Carolina traveling to Philadelphia.
Yeah, Eagles need another good game this week, man. I think it's time for them to put it together. Carolina's not a bad team. They're not really a great team. They're like borderline in my opinion.
I was going to say they're like
good.
Middle of the pack.
They are. They're 3-2. I think the Eagles win this game. I think they get after Newton enough, which like they always do. I'm starting to feel like the Eagles' offense might be putting it together now. You know, you got Jeffrey and Wentz both getting more reps now and getting that chemistry back again. I like the Eagles in this game. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think it's gonna be a pretty good game, but I think the Eagles pull it out in the end.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win too. I think Newton will make one more mistake, like you know what I mean, like one
like
more
he always
dumb
does.
play.
No. Yeah, I 100% know what you mean. He always makes that mistake. You know, there's that one play where it'll be like, oh, the Panthers got the ball early, fourth quarter, they're only down 3 points, and then Newton will throw an interception deep in their own territory. Yeah. We've seen it 100 times, man. Well,
all
maybe
right,
not that
here's
many
an
times,
interesting one. Next, we have the Lions
Ravens.
traveling to
sorry.
Miami.
I thought you were gonna say the Ravens game because that's a game I'm looking forward to. But I like Miami, man. I think Miami. I think they got a little something decent going on down there. Not sure, is Tannehill playing or is it Osweiler?
Osweiler.
Maybe I don't like Miami. I'll take it back. I like Detroit. Osweiler can't win 2 games in a row, so I'll take Detroit.
I'll roll the dice and take Miami because the Lions usually tend to make mistake. They're just a mistake making football team.
They're mistake ridden.
There you go. You get what I mean.
I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions though, man. I just don't have confidence that Osweiler can win 2 games in a row. Not anymore.
Here's another interesting one to me: the Vikings traveling to the Jets.
The Vikings need a win, man. I think they're I don't want to say it like that because they just won a game. They won 2 games, but
I know what you're saying. They need to keep it rolling.
Yeah, in order for them to be considered to still be one of the favorites in the NFC or whatever, they need to go in there and they need a statement game because they really haven't had that statement game to me. And I think this might be the week that they have it. I think they're going to end up winning this by 2 touchdowns. I really like the Vikings this week. And I've been pretty good with my really picks lately. The Steelers I've been good with. And I really think they're going to go in there and you're going to see just how much worse the Jets are than people think because they beat some bad teams. But I think the Vikings go in there. I think they win by a couple touchdowns. I think their defense is pretty dominant this week. I think Thielen and those guys are going to have pretty big games. And I like them by, I'm going to say a 33 to 17 type of game. And it's not going to be close from the start, in my opinion.
I got the Vikings too. No, now this is the game you were referring. I wish we got this game.
Yes.
The Saints traveling to Baltimore. The number 1 scoring offense versus the number 1 scoring defense.
Yeah, this is a good game, man. It's rough. Baltimore, they're a 2.5 point favorite. So to me, they're not a favorite.
It's like a pick 'em.
Yeah, because usually it's a 3-point cushion at home when it comes to the odds. I really think you're going to start seeing the Saints turn into the threat in the NFC that they are. So I think the Saints win this football game, but I think this could be the game of the week in the NFL. Either this one or there's another game coming up that we'll talk about in a minute.
I think this is going to be
Patriots and Bears could be the games.
I think this is going to be an ugly 23-20 type game.
Yeah, I could see that. And it depends on the Ravens have to grind this one to beat the Saints because that's how you beat the Saints. You're typically not going to beat the Saints in a 50-point game, and the Ravens offense isn't going to do that at all. So what stands out here to me is, can Flacco and that offense make enough big plays to win, or can their defense just come out and really have a huge game against Breeze? And I don't think they can do either, so I think the Saints they're going to win this football game.
I do. I think the Saints are going to win too, just because they have so many weapons.
That's exactly how I feel about it. It's going to be, can that big defense stop that super deep offense?
Yeah.
And we'll see.
All right, next we have tentatively the battle for first place in the NFC East. The Cowboys traveling to the Redskins.
Yeah, this is another rough game, man, because you never know what you're gonna get out of an NFC rival game. We don't really know. My gut says that the Redskins are gonna win this football game, just because Alex Smith does control the football well. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see what kind of team the Cowboys really are after that Jacksonville game. But I'm going with the Redskins in this one. I like them. They're at home. It's a rivalry game. Home teams usually come out looking better. So I'll go Washington.
I got the Redskins too. Like you just said, Alex Smith can keep Zeke off the field. And they've actually had their number. The Redskins have had Dallas's number as of late in this rivalry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. For us, we would probably want Dallas to win this game, but well, I'm going with Washington.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next we have the Rams traveling to the 49ers.
I mean, I don't think we can say too much about this game, can we? The Rams. This could be an ugly game. Like, really, really big blowout.
See, I'm curious because the Niners played Rodgers and them really tough. Can they put up another type of performance like that?
I think the Rams are a much better team than the Packers at this point. And the other thing about that is I think you have like that primetime game where the 49ers want to come out and really go for it, you know?
Yeah.
And another thing I think that could hurt them is the way they lost that football game could really, really, really bury them because they should have won that game and they didn't.
All right, Sunday night, we have the Bengals traveling to Arrowhead.
I don't think. I think it's going to be a good game, but I don't think the Bengals defense can do enough against the Chiefs to win this football game. I think the Chiefs, and I think you got to watch out for Burfict too in this game. This is another one where Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey. I think those guys got to be careful. They really do.
Well, and the other reason I'm taking the Chiefs is the Bengals just suck in prime time.
Yep, I'm definitely going with the Chiefs though. I think they're too good at this point. And they have one loss, and it was to a team that you can't be down on losing to.
Yeah, so. I agree. And here's an interesting stat. I did not know this. The Bengals have won 4 straight games against the Chiefs.
Well, time for that to come to an end.
Yeah. And now, last but certainly not least, we have the barn burner on Monday night. The Giants traveling to Atlanta.
Atlanta wins by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think this is going to get ugly.
3. Yeah, 3-score game. I have no confidence that the Giants can make this a football game. To be honest with you, Atlanta's defense isn't good, but I just think that Atlanta's offense is going to come out.
They're going to just rip them a new
asshole. They're going to annihilate. Yeah, if you want to say it in a straightforward way, I agree. Yeah. This Falcons are going to win this football game, and the Falcons are going to get back to being within a game of 500. And I mean, you never know. They might turn it around now, man. Like they've had some rough games earlier this year where they could have won, but I think you're going to start seeing Atlanta play football that they can play because they're not a bad team.
I'm looking at their schedule for the hell of it.
Yeah.
After this game, their next 3 are the Redskins, the Browns, and the Cowboys.
They can win all 3 of them football games. So if they can get this game, they might end up being like a
right back in it.
Yeah, they might end up over 500 in a few weeks, maybe a couple games over. Who knows? Yeah, but hey, time for them. They need a showing though on Monday night. They need to beat up on the Giants. They really do.
Yeah, kind of like what the Eagles did on Thursday night, where they just poured it on.
Yeah, the Giants are that team that you can get right against, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So yeah,
I totally agree. But
let's hope for another good week of football. Let's hope for another good week of it, man. I think our Sunday night game is going to be a good one, and other than that, the prime times I don't think are going to be. They're not going to hold up to as well as last week's did. But all we can do is hope for another enjoyable. If I can speak English now, for all of a sudden it just went out the window. Another enjoyable week of football, and hopefully next week we come back with some good picks.
I agree.
With a good week of picks.
But on that note, we're going to get out of here for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back next week. Have a good day, everybody.